Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Our chief guest, Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, the Creative Economy and Sports, Honorable Salim Mvurya. Principal Secretary present, I see Judith Pareno, State Department for Justice, Human Rights and Constitutional Affairs. The Chairperson of EACC, Dr. David Oginde. All the commissioners present, the CEO, EACC, Mr. Abdi Mohamud, distinguished members of the National Coordinating Committee, representatives of government, the private sector, development partners, civil society, and above all, the young people of Kenya, good morning. Today we mark the 2025 International Anti-Corruption Day under a theme that speaks directly to the heart of the nation's future: uniting with youth against corruption, shaping tomorrow's integrity. This theme could not be more fitting. Young people in Kenya and across our continent bear the heaviest burden of corruption. Africa is the youngest continent in the world, with 70% of its population under the age of 30. And here in Kenya, youth between 18 and 35 years make up more than 75% of our population. Yet, despite this demographic strength, far too many continue to face high levels of unemployment, limiting their access to meaningful opportunities, and too often systems reward connections rather than competence, and the spaces meant to empower the youth are constrained by a lack of transparency and consistency. When recruitment processes are manipulated, as we've had, when public resources intended for youth empowerment are diverted, and when leadership positions are captured rather than earned, young people pay the highest price. Their dreams are delayed, their confidence is eroded, and their aspirations are dimmed. But we've had, young people are not merely victims of corruption. They are the strongest force we have in the fight against it. With over 1.9 billion youth globally and millions here in Kenya, we are witnessing a rising generation emerging as guardians of integrity. And we've had the stories this morning. They are speaking up, they are organizing, they are challenging systems that once felt immovable. And they are using technology to redefine transparency and accountability. They are also exposing wrongdoing online. They are tracking public spending. They are questioning unethical decisions. And they are modeling leadership grounded in service, fairness, and responsibility. To the Kenyan youth present here this morning, if Kenyans youth united around integrity, they would form the largest and most powerful anti-corruption movement Kenya has ever seen. At the UN Global Compact, which is the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative, we are working to continue to champion business integrity as a core pillar of our mandate. We are supporting companies to operationalize our 10th principle on anti-corruption, strengthening ethical business conduct, and embedding cultures of accountability, transparency, and fairness. And as a member of the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum, we believe in coalition building, capacity development, and driving business integrity initiative that will emphasize integrity as a key driver of economic growth, which we believe does not present competing priorities to the business agenda. Integrity for us is the foundation of sustainable prosperity and inclusive development. We also recognize the private sector in Kenya offers powerful pathways for young people to plug in, contribute, and lead with integrity. And we are very pleased to have representatives from the private sector and signatories to the UN Global Compact and the Code of Ethics for Business in Kenya present with us here today, and members of our anti-corruption working group who value the engagement with other sectors of society to drive integrity in Kenya. Businesses are increasingly prioritizing ethics, compliance, and transparency, and they are creating new opportunities for youth in compliance, risk management, data analytics, for accountability, sustainability reporting, customer-facing roles where trust is essential, and leadership pipelines shaped by values rather than connections. The young people here, we are calling on you to upskill and to step up confidently into these roles that influence a culture of integrity in Kenya. You youth are leading innovators. The private sector is actively seeking digital solutions that detect and prevent fraud, platforms that simplify reporting, technologies that enhance supply chain transparency, and communication strategies that shift public mindsets. These are solutions that all of you youth represented here today are uniquely positioned to design, scale, and deploy. And so to the young people here today and across Kenya, those who are watching, I want to say this. Your numbers are your strength, your voice is your influence, and your integrity is your power. Reject corruption in all its forms. Demand transparency in your schools, in your communities, in your workplaces, and also as you interact with the public sector. Also demand action against corruption, even amongst your peer networks, because we also know those influences exist and those peer pressures exist to do wrong. Importantly, use your creativity, your digital skills, and your influence to build a Kenya where integrity becomes the norm and not the exception. You're not waiting for the future, you are shaping it now. You are the future today. And to all of us gathered here, the government, private sector representatives, civil society, development partners, and academia, we are reminded that this fight demands unity of purpose, and that's why we gather under the ambit of the Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum. For government, please safeguard whistleblowers and uphold strong integrity mechanisms. For businesses, please dismantle unethical practices and reward honesty. To the representatives of civil society in the room, continue with your oversight role. And to our development partners, support innovation and capacity building. And to representatives of academia, nurture a generation that sees ethics as a core competency rather than an optional value. Above all, we must ensure that young people are consistently at the table, not as tokens, but as leaders and partners in decision-making. And that's why we are so excited to have so many of them represented here as we dialogue and champion anti-corruption in Kenya. And as a member of the Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum, on behalf of the Global Compact Kenya movement, we commit to stand with Kenya's youth as we work to build a more just, accountable, and opportunity-driven Kenya. To all of us here, let us unite with our youth. Let us empower them. Let us follow their courage, because when young people rise against corruption, the nation rises with them. I thank you.